can't hear my voice! Who am I? Who am I?
And everything went black.
Wow. So rude. Being
All of
trolled
his
by the
co-workers
game.
were gone.
This is new.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh! Welcome to the whiteboard ending.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he
come
entered
on.
the door on his left. She's been waiting.
We're going to answer the phone. We'll answer the phone.
That's her, Stanley.
Let's answer the phone and see what we get.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. Oh.
House 427.
Okay, there we go.
No, it's
All
called
right, now,
726.
I want you to come in and tell me all about your
Gotcha!
Wow.
Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife?
Yes,
They want to
actually.
commit their life to you. I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Wow.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
What? No. 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 I can begin again. I don't have to die. No, we're going to begin again. Screw this guy. He can't control me. Wait a minute. No.
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Well, that's new. We're going to go back and pressure you.
And
Joker's
Stanley
going to
knew
watch
it
this video and he's going to
perfectly
be like, for fuck's
Perhaps
sake,
he
stop
wanted
going
to
the
stop
same
by the
routes.
employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Stop making me hate myself going
The
through the
lounge
same
was
routes.
grand, majestic.
You... Oh, it's changed. It's I now. I.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
I owe
Look
you.
at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures.
Yes.
From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Wow.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Press L to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either.
Okay.
At last, choice.
Okay.
It barely even mattered what lay behind each door.
Wow.
The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
This is taking the piss out of me actually playing this game, isn't it? I haven't been down all the paths and it's told me there's, like, I heard a baby one, and I lost it. Tell your wife you love her. Baby, I love you.
But there is no answer. How could there
She left
possibly
me.
be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer.
Wow.
That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Nah. We're not going to do it. I think it's possible. No, screw it.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried...
I broke it. Oh, I found the broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here.
There's
So
a
he
broom.
turned around and got back on track.
There's a broom.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
The narrator, yeah, it's called the Stanley Parable Slow. It's the first time I've ever played it.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He
Bucket.
wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there
Haven't
doing
got to
sweet
that till the
FA.
Joker. So Joker, you're going to have fun editing this. I'm going to tell you that now. The broom closet. There's actually an ending here. Thanks.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why?
Because I want to
He's
the
offered
bucket.
me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I am stuck in the broom closet.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right?
Yep.
If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out.
Yep.
But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Now, anyone who plays D&D should know that they're not going to do what the narrator says.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably
Wow.
only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
What the hell? No, we're going to stay here now.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You
Okay.
got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
Okay.
Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities.
Okay.
It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right. When you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
No. The door's shut. I can't get into the hallway. I'm bored again.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
Okay. And we're back in the broom
You
closet.
too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Okay, the slides. Right. Broom closet's done.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
It's a note. Wait. Can I read that note? We need to enhance. Zoom in. It doesn't let us.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
What?
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be
Where are
real.
my feet?
And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
Yeah.
And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
AB.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Nope.
Now the
because I'm not
voice was
listening to it.
describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
This
And
is
while he
too
thought it all
complicated for my
very
brain.
odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, This was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
No!
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
Nope.
Let me wake up,
I'm a gamer.
he thought to himself.
Fresh air doesn't work.
I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please,
I'm pushing
it's
the
all I
buttons.
want. I want my apartment and my wife
You have
and
no
my
life, you've
job.
proven that.
All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
Ignoring
My
you.
life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
No.
I am okay.
Nope, we're still in the same place.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Wow. So rude. Absolutely rude.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Who the hell's Mariella?
Mariella woke
Marie,
up on a
Mas.
day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her
There you
career,
go.
and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
There's your thumbnail. Ah, fancy suite. Ooh, bathroom. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crime, isn't it to be rich? Life would be beautiful poem. I still have no legs. Now that is now kind of like bugging me. I want feet. Don't you dare close on me. I didn't tell you to close, did I? Exactly. Don't you dare close on me. You stay open, boy. Don't you dare be making that a thing. So we've got a choice. I'm assuming that's my boss's office. So we're going this way. Can we go? You had one job, Maz. There you go, Junker. Anyone's watching this is probably like, what the fuck is going on? He's singing. The crazy guy in my head singing. You hear that, right? It's not just me hearing crazy people sing in my head. Okay, enough of you. Apparently, that's not doing anything.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Zoom,
Shocked,
Joker.
unraveled,
And that
Stanley
one.
wondered in
And
disbelief
that one.
who orchestrated
And then
this.
that one.
What dark secret was being
all
held
three at
from
once.
him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's the stupidest combination I ever heard in my life. It's the kind of thing an idiot would have on his luggage.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Fine.
Oh. 2845.
I wonder if this will annoy him.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Oh, I thought you'd actually be able to play the piano. I have rope. Geronimo! Oh. It's an elevator. An actual elevator that worked. Do 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 do.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
Yeah, let's
It
go
was
back
a
up.
stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Whoops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up.
Ha.
Silly me.
Ha.
Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
I didn't actually think I could go back up. I just pressed it because, you know, I wanted to fire.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have. An
Yes, thank
incisive,
you.
rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
I'm proud. I'm proud I could. But you know what's more important than your story? Zoom! Zoom. Look, that's our boss. I assume. We're gonna have some fun here. Well, I guess we're going down. We're yelling timber.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Usually by chance and luck. You know we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to see if he says anything.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Oh my god. Guys, did you know we're going back to the boss's office? And he's telling me about a spooky corridor. That's not going to happen. I played enough horror games. Oh my god. Oh god, that scared me.
It's the boss's office.
That scared
This
me.
absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this. Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
Why am I copying this thing?
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Oh, I'm a master now, am I? I'm going to have to go back up, aren't I? I'm going to have to come back up.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before.
Really?
I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Good to know. Good to know have I not been stale and repetitive. He's gonna hate me. He is gonna hate me.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
Nope.
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises? To have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal. This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why... Oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
My fellow gamers, I'd like to say thank you for supporting me.
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
Stanley live on stage. You know, I gave all my success to not having feet.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
I was hoping I could go through that one. Doing great.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
Down the Stanley story. Congratulations on remember where you came from, your co-workers. Ooh, I want to play golf. Up and down again, the Stanley story. I love how he's put more effort in going up and down than I have. I just press the button. Oh wow! Wow! Thank you, my fellow gamers. I appreciate you all being here. I just want to say that you all lost the game. Thank you very much.